Today, the Maryland Terrapins march into Panzer Stadium in University Park, Pennsylvania, with a score to settle as the Nittany Lions of Penn State host an Easter Sunday showdown on Big Ten Network. It is great to see you again. Along with Mark Dixon, I'm Joe Beninati. When we size up this matchup, one team is flying high, the other is sputtering. So what's at stake for them tonight?
So for Penn State, they've won 7 in a row. They're one of the hottest teams in the country after a surprising early setback to Colgate. They are red hot, and they are positioning themselves as the #1 seed in the upcoming conference tournament. Maryland, meanwhile, be the best has been tested. They have lost their last 2, 3 out of the last 4. They are entering must-win territory, and what a better way to kick that off than to beat Penn State here tonight.
Maryland wants to monopolize possessions, and face-off man Luke Weirman gives them a healthy advantage at the dot.
Weirman is spectacular. He is terrific at the face-off, but he has struggled a little bit in 2024. He faded last week against Michigan. He lost the statistical matchup, but make no mistake about it. Number 52 in the red, black, and white, he is hungry, and he will be a big factor here tonight.
The Nittany Lions have the Big Ten's most productive offense. TJ Malone is their igniter.
He is the reigning Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. He's played with Grant Ament, Mac O'Keefe, of recent vintage, some of Penn State's greatest. He has taken the mantle from them. He is the face of the program. He is the alpha male for this Penn State team.
Time to meet the netminders. Logan McNaney, the backstop for Maryland. He tends to shine in these big games, getting better and better, coming back off of his injury of a season ago. Jack Frassian will be staring back at McNaney. The Penn State keeper is a highlight-making machine. Mark, it's a unique style that he plays, but he is extremely effective.
Very unconventional, flexible. He is fun to watch.
Mike McCloskey, Mike Harrell, Jeffrey Hoffman are the officials. Maryland on the road in black. Penn State ranked 4th in the land at 7-1. This Easter Sunday night at home at Panzer in the white.
What an electric atmosphere. The place is packed. You got a Drake concert about to commence across the street, and that's big news. One area of the field where everybody feels like Maryland has a decided advantage at the face-off dot. Mullins wins the first of the game. That bodes well for We Are.
Get it in the cross of TJ Malone. He'll sweep from the top. Throw back and fire! An early goal for Jake Morin.
The game couldn't have started any better for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Chase Mullen wins the face-off clean, and then they run their first possession to perfection. Malone uses the pick, the little throwback. 2 Maryland defenders go with number 7 in white. Miscommunication. You're not going to get a much cleaner look than Morin did there with the step down.
Morin getting the congratulations. He has tallies in 7 of his last 8. Back to the face-off dot we go. Chase Mullins against Luke Weirman for most of the night. There's a push here, and possession belongs to the Terrapins in black. Their first touch. Offensively, 6-on-6.
This is a group that has under fire in recent weeks. Who can step up? Who can be the one player? It's a team game, but who can be that one player when things get tough to say, hey guys, jump on my back and I'll carry you to the promised land?
Syracuse and Spanos on the ball. This is Spanos, the towering midfielder who will invert against Kyle Aldridge. Jump shot on the way, bounced wide. On the backup sprint, Molliver will retain possession for Maryland.
Molliver being guarded by number 41 in white, Joe Scarfy. This is a defense that has been tested with a lot of injuries early season. They have played extremely well, missing some of their headliners.
Molliver off the feet, a whistling drive answered by Frassian as he got to a knee to make that denial. Frassian routinely in double figures when it comes to saves. An uncontested clear for Aldridge and a chance for Penn State to stack goals back-to-back.
There you saw the athleticism of Frassian getting down low so smoothly keeping the ball in front of him, then gobbling it up and getting it out. He is Gumby-like for what people, if the people remember who Gumby is these days.
I do, and he is. Kyle Lehman's 4 in the white for the Nittany Lions. Already on the board with a goal from Jake Morin. Turning the corner, a snapshot rejected by McNaney. Good stop there on Wallstrom as the Maryland keeper answers Frassian at the other end.
I like what I saw out of Logan McNaney last week, even though Maryland lost. I liked the way he was attacking the ball, stepping to the ball, and that's the difference between him and the goalie for Penn State that we just saw. More of a stay-at-home, stand up straight. The ball will hit him more than it'll hit Frassian as Frassian attacks the ball a little bit more aggressively.
Just getting going in Happy Valley. Temperatures in the low 50s. Great crowd on hand here at Panzer Stadium. As the Terps look to equalize, Whittier off the feed. Murphy on the split dodge. The catch and release that sailed wide of the goal by Braden Erksa.
That was terrific offense, and that is when Maryland is at their most dangerous, when the ball is hot and is not dying in the stick of any individual.
30 seconds left on the shot clock. Molliver will keep the ball moving outside. Another knockdown there as Erksa let it fly. Frassian, all throughout the week of practice, Coach Tillman was telling his Terps, Frassian's a guy who's going to make a lot of saves. Some of them are going to be spectacular. You have to just stay in the moment.
I think that one was off of his elbow, if I saw correctly. A little chicken wing action. Frassian getting his left elbow, it looked like, up to make that stop.
Owen Murphy on the run into the alley. Tough catch there. Score! Molliver with the flick.
I'm surprised that that feed, 1, got into the stick of Molliver, and 2, he was able to corral it and slip it under Frassian. That was a sea of 3 or 4 white jerseys, all on number 4. And look at that, the catch, and he puts it down at his ankles and flicks it. That's ball watching by Scarfy. He was staring at the ball, did not guard his man, and Molliver takes full advantage. Owen Murphy, you got to have a lot of chutzpah to put that one in the middle like that.
Weirman and Mullins at the face-off dot. Molliver from Murphy, Morin from Malone. It's all about the M's at the outset of this game. A scoop here off the wing, ball fumbled down off the deck. McDonald, the long stick midfielder there for Maryland, 51 in the black. They award possession to the Nittany Lions.
That looked like it went off of Penn State, but you have to give a ton of credit to Maryland and their wing play. The last couple weeks, Luke Weirman hasn't gotten a lot of help from the wings coming in to assist to make that a true 3-on-3 ground ball. That was nice work by McDonald to disrupt the scooping motion of the Penn State wing.
Level at 1, approaching the 5-minute mark of the opening quarter. Morin inverted, the midfielder playing back behind the cage. Matt Costin on the go. Bad angle, he scores! Costin on the run.
Penn State's Matt Costin, from a low angle, is able to slip it past Logan McNaney. This is just a wing dodge, and the help isn't there. Maryland is a team that typically doesn't like to slide, but I think Nick Redd got a little preoccupied behind the cage. Should I stay or should I go? And instead he goes behind the cage, he doesn't support, and Costin is able to cruise down the alley and put it past Maryland.
Jeff Tambroni, the head coach for Penn State, pleased with Matt Costin, the 23-year-old grad student, 4th on the team in points scoring. Formerly at the University of Utah, his first ever goal as a Nittany Lion came against Maryland back in 2021.
This is a Penn State team that was surprised by Colgate in the season opener by a goal off of a failed clear late in the game. Penn State's really cleaned up the middle of the field en route to a 7-game win streak. And again, one of the hottest teams in the country.
Maryland has dropped its last 2 in succession. Syracuse serves for Erksa. Erksa expecting to see a lot of Alex Ross, the best cover guy for the Nittany Lions. Syracuse closing with a rip, and Frassian snares that with ease.
He can make spectacular saves, unconventional saves, but he can also make your garden variety. That time he just stands up to the high heat from Syracuse and eats it.
Morin and Costin have sandwiched goals about a strike from Molliver for Maryland. Ball down on the deck. Tough ground ball scoop there for Matt Trainer. He kept it alive as the hitting intensifies. Malone knocked down to the deck, and Maryland comes away with the ball.
Wear your chin straps here tonight. This is Big Ten Lacrosse, Sunday night on BTN. And we've got a procedure call against Maryland. It must have been something behind the play, or maybe a substitution situation, because Maryland mauled some of the Nittany Lions en route to earn a tough ground ball.
Kyle Lehman has it for Penn State in the white jerseys. Bring it back behind the goal. Matt Trainer will play it out for Malone off the roll dodge against Zapatello. You got an All-American matchup there. Good to see Will Peden, 12 in the white, out there for Penn State. He was a question mark heading into play this weekend. Trainer, who leads the team in goals, feeds it inside Peden. He scores!
It's a whiteout at University Park, Panzer Stadium. John Tillman looking for some answers. It looks like it is an offsides against Maryland. That is what gave possession to Penn State. And that's unfortunate because Maryland earned a tough ground ball. Look at the vision. And again, Maryland just coming upfield a little too much, not paying attention to the underbelly. And that is Will Peden taking the feed from Matt Trainer and slipping it past Logan McNaney. I think right now, Joe, both teams are really, really jacked up, feeding off the energy of this crowd.
Weirman just beat Colby Baldwin, the understudy for Chase Mullins, at the faceoff dot to get possession for Maryland. And Braden Erksa looks to chip away at a 3-1 deficit for his squad traveling in from College Park. The Terps have been on the road to start the Big Ten Conference season.
When you talk to Big Ten coaches, they look at that schedule right away. They know they're going to get either 2 at home or 3 at home. Maryland has the 3 road games.
Spanos on the bouncer. He scores.
Whether you're on the road or at home, Eric Spanos can make plays. We saw on the first possession, he tried to get early offense for Maryland and was funneled down the alley. This time he gains leverage against the #1 short stick D-midi. Kyle Aldridge is the #2 for Penn State. So he recognizes the matchup. Aldridge lunges. He didn't keep his feet moving, he gave up his body. Spanos recognizes it, runs by him, and dunks it past Frassian.
To the face-off dot, Mullins and Weirman, and it's Mullins who will come away with this one, earning possession for Penn State. Loose ball down on the deck. As the Terps swarm defensively, they jam forward, and it comes up for Maryland on the takeaway. A.J. Larkin, who scored last week at Michigan, picks up the ground ball as McNaney spots the open man, Eric Kohler, to clear.
It'll be interesting to see if Larkin gets more time tonight. I think he's been knocking on the door, and when we spoke with John Tillman this week, he said one player who has made some positive steps over the last few weeks is A.J. Larkin with the long pole.
Jack McDonald, Nick Alviti, A.J. Larkin in that long stick midfielder stable as Molliver jogs in against long stick midfielder Sam Sweeney for the Nittany Lions. Off of a pick, Molliver feeds over the top. They keep it hot. Here it comes. That Whistler sailed high. Once again, Erksa is in a shooting mood tonight.
And I like Maryland's offense. They're banging it to X right behind the cage, quickly hitting it upside to the alley, and then whittling across the face of this Penn State defense. They've gotten 2 or 3 quality step downs.
Work it back behind the cage. On the hop, Kelly feed it inside. That's snapped wide of the goal. Closest to the ball, where and when it leaves the field on a shot, it's going to be awarded to Brendan Leary of Penn State.
Smart play by the Nittany Lions. Talked to TJ Malone this week, was a guest on the D-Fly Dixie podcast. And then we also talked to Jeff Tambroni. The common theme between the two of them, Maryland doesn't beat themselves. So you cannot beat yourself, and you have to make plays that are going to maybe not show up on the stat sheet. That play from Leary, being smart, getting to the end line first, those are those little plays that will accumulate and add to success for Penn State.
Coach Tambroni said of the team dressed in the white, it's a mature bunch, 7 wins in a row, but they're able to compartmentalize each week, face what's in front of them and stay focused. Focused on adding to a 3-2 lead right now on the jump shot. Score! Malone!
Number 7 in white, TJ Malone, is the alpha male. He's been doing the dirty work tonight up to this point, fighting hard for several ground balls, absorbing stick checks, taking body blows. On this occasion, he gets the matchup that he wants, and this is no small feat, folks. Ajax Zapatello, some keystone cops, bangs into his own player behind the cage. Malone recognizes it, gets top side, whips it top shelf. Penn State is rolling.
Lacrosse on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Penn State has struggled mightily against Maryland. That's an understatement in varsity history. But the lone Penn State win 5 years ago to the day in College Park. Jack Kelly was special for that successful performance. Speaking of which, the State of Success is brought to you by State Farm, and you can see how Maryland fares against the rest of its Big Ten brethren.
Maryland has been the yardstick to measure yourself against in Big Ten men's lacrosse since the inception of the league. So to beat Maryland at any point is special. For Penn State back in 2019, that was a monkey they got off their back en route to their first ever national semifinal appearance. Jack Kelly, Grant Ament, Mac O'Keefe. What a great team that was for Jeff Tambroni.
Grant Hawes will take this for Penn State. On the flip, getting help from Luke Mercer. Malone back behind the cage. Zapatello there. Ajax Zapatello wearing number 1 for Maryland. On the sprint. Feed it inside. Snapshot score! Matt Traynor.
Penn State right now, offensively, looks like they are in a different gear against this Maryland defense. Nice pick up top, sweep across the front. Penn State, it's Matt Traynor taking the feed and slipping it past McNaney. I would say they're jamming it into the middle, but the middle's wide open right now for Penn State in terms of their feeds and guys on the interior of this Terrapin backline.
Chase Mullins comes away with another face-off win. So Penn State, a make-it-take-it situation with a 5-2 advantage, their largest lead of the quarter. As they see Matt Traynor get on the board, their leading goal scorer. Ball gets turned back to the Terps.
And that play right there, Joe, is illustrative of this rivalry. Penn State oftentimes has had Maryland on the ropes. I thought last year down in College Park they played better than Maryland, but those self-inflicted wounds cost them dearly. That is a mistake that Penn State simply cannot afford to make tonight.
Joe Scarfy is on Molliver. They kick it to the top. Kyle Aldridge there defensively. Spanos has the ball. He'll work against Grant Hawes. Spanos able to see over the top at 6'5". Keep the ball moving for Urksa. Off of a pick, he leans in. No question mark there. Gets away from Siracusa. He'll race to the sideline. Shot clock's at 30. Give and go feed inside that gets away from Urksa. Attacked by Scarfy on the end line. It comes up for Maryland, still in possession. Maltz, Molliver, and around the horn we go to Syracuse. Shot clock's at 12. Urksa against Hawes, the short stick defensive midfielder. Urksa off the feed. Turning and firing. Frassian made the save. Frassian denying Spanos. It has been Penn State shooting ultra effectively, a very high percentage in the opening quarter against McNaney, but Maryland running into a brick wall named Frassian.
Yeah, Frassian. Look at the fluidity of that save. How he gets down low and then comes right back up. Almost like an old school break dancer, Joe. Back in the day when you used to get down and get back up real fast, a little James Brown action. But then the one criticism I might have of Frassian, he puts a little bit too much air under his outlet passes, especially to the middle of the field. Got to straighten those out a little bit.
Malone rolls, finds Matt Costin, working from the top. Pitch it to the outside. Morin, who started the scoring spree for the Nittany Lions, getting late in the opening quarter, less than 3 with which to work. Costin on the go. Bouncer there, booted away. Long rebound to midfield. Hustled down by Matt Trainer. He'll drive in. Trainer over the top, fires that one. Missing the cage, backed up by Peden.
Yeah, Penn State right now looks incredibly athletic. They're playing very fast. They look hungry at the outset of this contest.
Ethan Long on the sweep against Sharkey. Long throws back for Malone. Malone averaging 6 points per game this season. On the sneak, Morin picked up by Red. Skip it through. Costin off the split. Here comes the double. Zapatello timed it perfectly, and now Ajax will run, looking for numbers for Maryland, but his pass is over top of Molliver. Over the last couple of weeks, Mark, Maryland has been turnover prone, and it bit him there again.
That is not Maryland lacrosse, and when you wear the number 1, you're the guy, you're the leader. Ajax Zapatello, one of the best cover men in the conference as well as in the country. But Maryland, we said it last week in the first quarter against Michigan, and I'll say it here tonight, they almost look nervous. Just like the moment is a little bit too big for them at this time.
Lehman makes a nice catch on the wing, rolling to the top. Coach Tillman said they turned up the pressure in practice to try and give the guys better game simulation so they would make some decisions well and not turn it over as much. Good defense there on the hands from Canfield. He made that a difficult shot for Trainer, backed up by Penn State.
I think if you're Maryland, you just have to settle down. Make a play, clear the ball cleanly from defense to offense.
Malone, in tight, he scores! T.J. Malone.
It's a Penn State blitzkrieg to start this game. And it's frustrating if you're Maryland. They're not used to losing. And maybe the pressure of this two-game streak, losing 3 out of 4, has gotten to them mentally. This is a matchup Malone's going to take all day against a short stick. All he has to do is take 3 or 4 steps. He's got top side, he's got leverage, and he whips it past Logan McNaney.
Malone, over 200 points in his career, becomes the first multi-goal scorer of the game. 6-2, the lead blossoms for Penn State as Maryland gets a much-needed possession off the draw.
That is a huge face-off for Luke Weirman. He typically gets better as the game goes on, which is good news for the Terrapin faithful. He is definitely going to have to turn it up tonight, and this is a great start, getting a clean win and getting this offense possession so they can get into some kind of rhythm.
Just 30 seconds with which to work now in the quarter. Murphy on the run against Sweeney. That pass is too soft. It's picked off by Aldrich. Fast break, Nittany Lions. Aldrich 4-on-3. Trainer, move it quickly. Peden, nice recovery by the Terps. Excellent defense to get back in the hole. getting late in this opening frame now. 12 seconds remain. Malone will isolate on the exterior, feed it. Snapshot rejected by McNaney. A good stop there. He'll find Schaller on the clear. Ridden back by Matt Traynor. As the opening quarter comes to its end, they are loving it in University Park, VA. It's Penn State by 4. We'll get you back for more. Get you to Panzer Stadium to watch more of the Malone Show on Big Ten Network. Alex Marinier had 5 for the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes never trailed yesterday. In this one, the stadium lights starting to take full effect at Panzer Stadium. Penn State in control, 6-2 over Maryland. It's a Penn State team that is just 3-5 in conference home openers in their Big Ten history. Entangling with 12th ranked Maryland, the 4th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions jumped out. It was a 1-1 contest, but since then, Penn State has flexed its muscles offensively.
This is a Penn State team that obviously was a play away last year from going to the national championship game. But a lot of this roster was around in 2022 when they only won 3 or 4 games total that year and had really a lousy season. So they've tasted both.
Malone's jump shot, he scores! Malone, an early hat trick.
TJ Malone showing why he is the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year from 2023. Such a special talent. And we've seen him operate from all different areas of the field. Behind the cage, from the wing. This time he gets a switch and he gets to the right hand up top and just goes down the alley. Again, no support. Maryland is a team that does not like to slide, and Penn State is running by the short stick defensive midfielders of the Terps at this juncture.
Penn State won't get possession this time. Weirman, the All-American face-off man, comes up with the draw. As Maryland will look to chip away against the Penn State offensive bunch that's #1 in the conference goals per game. Snapshot, score! A lightning fast release from Chorus.
Second Maryland goal coming from early offense, and I love the way that they attack and have the confidence. They got Chase Mullins on the field, and that is just a great look inside from Luke Weirman, who can feed. That is an impressive look from your Fogo, or should I say not a Fogo, not a face-off get-off, and Coors with the sweet one-timer.
Weirman had an assist against Virginia earlier in the season, picks up the helper there. Off this draw, it's going to be possession to Penn State. So far, Chase Mullins has done a nice job against Luke Weirman.
He really has. And again, talking with Jeff Tambroni and then just looking at the tape and looking at the stats, yeah, Luke Weirman and Maryland, they have a distinct advantage of us over in the faceoff dot, but Chase Mullins has come to play tonight and has mitigated that and flipped the script on that alleged advantage.
On the move, it's Mercer. Submarine shot that sailed high over the head of McNaney, backed up on the end line. It remains Penn State ball for Will Peden. Schaller draws that defensive assignment for the Terps. Peden on the run. Nice throwback inside, score! Wallstrom!
A different gear. Penn State is playing at light speed in this first half thus far. Nothing fancy off the restart. Just a slip, and again, miscommunication. There's no reason to hedge. If you're the defense of Maryland, Schaller had that matchup. And the officials look like they missed some chin music to Wallstrom. A cross check to the throat. So Maryland gets off with just allowing that goal.
Luke Wallstrom, the redshirt sophomore, Pennsylvania native, goals at 4 straight. Goals in 7 of the last 8, and this Penn State offensive machine is humming right along. Maryland in possession now. The Terps wearing their black jerseys. Easter Sunday night with Lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Joe Beninati, Mark Dixon, so glad you've tuned in. Throughout this season, throughout this spring, we're celebrating 10 years of Lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Syracuse waiting for subs to come off the sideline. It's Spanos on the move against Hawes. Bringing around. Syracuse on the move. Getting topside. That one's deflected. Defensive work from John King. Off the roll dodge. Molliver short side and squeezing that at his ankles. It's Frassian.
It's like the wickets were open and then they shut. What a save from Jack Frassian.
Back comes Malone from one end to the other. Spinning away from the pressure here. Trainer says, let's chill out. Fans still buzzing after that stop by Frassian. Malone already with 3. Ajax Zapatello digging in. Maryland's top cover man at close defense. Morin back behind the cage for Peden. Bring it this way for Ethan Long. Into the alley. Long runs by his man. This one's off the outside of the post. McNeely got a little chunk of it too as the Terps look to clear.
Nice. That's a stop that Maryland needed. Now they need to convert.
Stamos with it, 54 in the black. Hands it off to Colin Sharkey as John Tillman will get some offensive-minded subs in. Braden Irks is slowing the tempo. Maryland trailing by 5. The Terps this season at 5-3. Penn State at 7-1. Each of these teams in their second week of Big Ten Conference play.
It's the second season. Maryland preseason 4th. And it's playing out that way, surprisingly.
Chorus kicks it back behind the cage. Molliver picked up by Scarfy. Molliver drawing 2 defenders, feeds there. Mulch turns, fires. That's knocked down, rebounded front. Flag down. The official stopping play. An extra man will be coming up.
That is unfortunate for Maryland. That was a sweet look from Eric Molliver. And it looks like this foul is going to be against Maryland. What could have been just a loose ball push.
Body check. 1 minute.
So it's on Syracuse. I thought for sure that was a Maltz goal, but I thought he hesitated a little bit. Yeah, that's helmet to helmet from the side. And even when Maryland gets quality looks, look at this save. R.I.P. Suzanne Summers, a little thigh master action right there, closing the wickets.
I don't know if I've ever seen a goalie make a save with his ankles and his calves together. Craziness. Extra man for Penn State. One statistical area where the Nittany Lions haven't been all that sharp. This is a whistler from Brenfleck that sails high. Coach Tambroni said they're just not finishing. They've been stymied a little bit to execute the final piece, a man up. On the season, just 24% with the extra man. Malone from the top, looking for his 4th of this first half. Playing catch with Costin. Skip it. Malone up top, feed it inside to the pocket. McNaney, a great save there on Trainer.
That's a big stop. Loved how he stayed and didn't guess. Ball went to his stick, clean save. Maryland now, you got to get into a rhythm offensively and start to chip away at this Penn State advantage. 10
in the black with the ball. Braden Irksa is Maryland's leading man when it comes to point production. He's got goals in 7 of 8 this season. He was the guy who led the comeback against Brown with a career best 5 goals and 3 assists. Alex Ross stalking him near midfield. Irksa on the rollback. Lets it go. Bouncer. He scores! Top shelf.
Easter Sunday. Big Ten Network. High bouncers will go. What a shot. And on that one, even Alex Ross has to say, man, how'd you do that? That was a sweet shot. Starts with the save. McNaney tracks it, locates it, saves it, and look at Urksa. There's no way Frassion's going to save that with his ankles. Roofs it to the top shelf where Mom hides the Cadbury eggs.
Nice. Easter egg hunt. Mullins and Weirman at the face-off dot. Ball comes up. Right back down on the ground. Ryan O'Connor, long stick midfielder with a shove there. And this will be Maryland possession.
This is what they have to do. Stack possessions together.
Now the officials, though, after a conference, are going to call a hold against Maryland and give the ball to Penn State.
Good communication by the officials. That's why there's 3 of them out there. That's a tough break for Maryland, who desperately needs the ball to continue to get into an offensive groove. Tip of the cap to Urksa for changing the levels and mixing up the shot against Frassion.
That was a beauty.
Gorgeous.
Matt Costin on the rollback. Works away from a couple of Terp defenders. Spins it to the outside. Morin on the go against Red, trying to get underneath. Zappatello there with a great strip. And a caused turnover for one of Maryland's best. McNaney runs into the ride of Malone. 20 seconds to clear the midline for Maryland. Logan McNaney, as he gets more and more confident, getting better and better at this. A beautiful pass there to Sharkey. A successful clear for Maryland.
Great job by McNaney. That's the piece that everybody worries about when he gets outside the cage with that knee. And then how about Sharkey? Like a wide receiver in football. 2 feet in bounds, tiptoeing the sideline, and soft hands to redirect it to his teammate so it's not a turnover. Excellent clear by the Terps.
Terps looking to put goals back-to-back for the first time in this first half. Here it comes. A snapshot there that sizzled wide from Daniel Kelly. Backed up by Molliver as we near the midway mark of the second quarter. Panzer Stadium, University Park, PA. Molliver and the Terps dressed in black. Urksa swings it for Murphy. Murphy to the alley. Will kick it. Aldridge there defensively. Outside Maltz, far away from the cage where he does his best work. Kelly on the move, nice catch by Maltz, he'll fire. That's answered by Frassion, coming up quickly. Here's the fast break feed, on the move, Aldridge on the go. Fakes it, feeds it, Malone keeps it hot. Snapper off the post! Trainer rings the iron, then dives to keep possession for Penn State.
Both these teams fighting for every square inch of the field. What a rocket from Trainer. The 6x6 is still quivering after he rattles it off of the iron.
Time for us to step away. We'll get you back for more Big Ten Conference excitement. Penn State doubling up Maryland on home turf.
Tillman has won 2 national titles while head coach of the University of Maryland. That is something that Tambroni and his Nittany Lions, they just missed out last year on playing for a national title, and they desperately want to get back.
Penn State and Johns Hopkins regular season co-champs a season ago. Neat move from back behind, stuffed out by McNaney. McNaney beat Wallstrom there at point-blank range.
Nice save for McNaney. He's really starting to heat up, get into a little bit of a groove, and they need his handiwork to keep this score where it is.
A half a dozen stops for McNaney. Maryland back at the offensive end. Shade more than 6.5 minutes left in this opening half. Penn State in the driver's seat, 6-2 after the opening quarter. 8-4 at the moment. Chorus for Spanos.
That vignette we saw, Joe, how many times has Penn State had their heart broken on this field by the Maryland Terrapins? They are in a position right now to keep their foot on the gas and get a lot of distance between them and Maryland. They don't want the Terps hanging around to have a chance at the end.
Penn State has never won a home game against Maryland, 0-11. Frassion adding to his save total. Maryland with possession. Urksa hesitates, jumps bouncer, and there's another stop for Frassion getting the legs together in the nick of time. No 5-hole for Frassian. Back come the Nittany Lions with Malone in charge. Will Peden is next. Matt Trainer, who struck in the opening quarter. Multi-goal games for Trainer in 7 of his last 8. Morin will feed it on the outside for Matt Costin. 3 goals against Ohio State last week. This one rattling around off of McNaney again. And it comes up Maryland off the ground ball. Zappatello to clear. With an assist from McDonald, the long stick midfielder who sprints to safety.
Nice handiwork again by Logan McNaney. He's keeping Maryland in this thing. Now the offense on the other end, they've got to start stacking wins, stacking goals. Frassian has really befuddled them.
Urksa against Ross into the alley on that speed dodge. Floated over the top, a tough catch there. Ball down, Syracusa. And it comes up for Penn State. Snagged by Will Costin, close defender. Kyle Aldridge says, let's settle down. We were talking with Jeff Tambroni throughout the week, and he said you may even see Jack Posey carrying a long stick, the injured defender from a season ago who's been working back from a knee injury, getting closer and closer to competing at top level.
It's hard enough to go 7-1 at this level of college lacrosse when you're doing it without your best defender, Jack Posey, another starter, Kevin Parnham, and oh, by the way, one of your best short stick D middies, Mark Sickler. That is pretty impressive what Penn State's been able to put together under defensive coordinator Joe Bucci so far in 2024.
Ethan Long off the invert against Nick Red. Work it outside for Matt Costin. Deeper into the shot clock, 25 seconds left in it. Malone on the dead run. Malone, question mark, had that one blocked. McNaney steps out of his crease to snare. Zappatello expected to get the lion's share of the work against Malone, but Coach Tillman said he won't be there all the time. It's a collective effort to try and rein in number 7. Good catch on the sideline by Red, and Maryland now trying to make this a 3-goal game.
A great handle by Nick Red. And a week ago in Michigan, 35-degree weather, we saw the ball sailing out of Maryland's sticks, and we kind of chalked it up to a little bit of a temperature change, temperature shock, if you will. Beautiful night here tonight at Panzer Stadium, and Maryland's sticks are still erratic.
Temps in the low 50s when we started the game. Molliver on the move against Scarfy. Spanos inverted, drawing a short stick defender in Leary. Skip it to the inside. That whistler from Chorus was deflected. It'll stay Maryland ball with 27 seconds to shoot.
Good offense, nice look. Chorus, I think that shot was tracking. Unfortunately for him, hits off the lid of a Penn State defenseman.
Urksa on the move. He has Ross hung up. Urksa waits, gets flushed out. Feed it up top. Syracusa off the hitch. Lets it go. That's a bit high on Frassian. 12 seconds on the shot clock.
I think some pump fakes. If Maryland can get some pump fakes, because Frassian is a goalie you can move.
Spanos waiting. Spanos kick it inside. Oh, Frassian again. Follow-up chance, he made a couple. Frassian dominating in this opening half of play.
He is electric between the pipes.
Ball gets away from Leary on the sideline. Man ball there. It rolls out of bounds. It'll be Maryland ball for Eric Spanos.
I mean, look at these 2 saves. First of all, the wrist, the windshield wiper, and then the follow-up. Frassian again. How fast he gets from a crouch back to upright is lightning quick.
You can see why he was the Big Ten Specialist of the Year last year. That reputation is well earned as one of the college game's premier stoppers. Urksa will test him now. Floated inside, that'll get away. Ball down. Scarfy and Molliver sprinting to the end line. It's Penn State ball.
We've seen some tattered play over the last couple of minutes. And I think as both teams' emotions start to come back down to earth, it took maybe a little bit longer with this jacked up crowd, the bright lights of Sunday night, Easter Sunday. These two have to figure it out, take a deep breath, and get back to, especially Penn State. That offense was clicking in the first quarter and a half. They've got to tap back into that magic.
They put 6 of their 8 on the board in the opening 15 minutes. We have 1 minute to go before halftime here at Panzer. And a timeout is called by Penn State.
Timeout, Penn State.
Penn State and Maryland squaring off a top 15 matchup, if you will. Let's have a peek at the top 10 in the land and how they have been faring.
Notre Dame knocking off Syracuse yesterday, and Virginia was down 10-6, excuse me, scored 7 straight goals to knock off Harvard and Cambridge. And there we see Army, a tight win over North Carolina. Cornell falls in overtime to Penn. Conference play, Joe, really heating up. And this is the time of year where you shift gears a little bit from the rankings to, you know, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, really start looking at that RPI, strength of schedule, quality wins, the things needed for a resume to gain entry into the NCAA tournament. Hopkins knocking off Michigan, Rutgers losing to Ohio State, but the Big Ten represented well in the USILA top 20.
That Blue Jays-Michigan game, Johns Hopkins now 11-1 all-time against the Wolverines. They were able to turn the face-off story around in that game. Justin Wheatfield was practically unbeatable in the opening half, and then all of a sudden, the Blue Jays won 6-7 in a row in the third quarter. That turned the tide.
When that offense can get possessions, and now that Russell Melendez has resurrected his production, Hopkins is that much more dangerous, because you know you're going to get Jacob Angelis, you know you're going to get Derek Degnan. Having the right side of the field be productive, that is critical for Hopkins.
What do you expect to see from Penn State here late in the half?
You know, we got 46 seconds on the shot clock, 59 left in the half. I think Penn State's going to take their time, milk the shot clock down, and then I like how they've been attacking with Costin. Expect maybe a pick from Malone to get him on a shorty. But those are the guys who have really been the party starters so far here tonight for Penn State.
Sharkey's way out on Wallstrom. Wallstrom on the go off the split dodge into the alley. Zappatello waiting for it. Peden hesitates. Pops it out to Malone. Already with a first half hat trick. Fidgets inside. That's a tough catch for Lehman. Long range bid that's blocked. Late in the quarter. Feed it, top side, snapped high on the move by Mercer with just 15 seconds to operate in the half.
Only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Expect Penn State to dump this into the corner.
That's exactly what happens.
Great defense by Maryland in terms of not allowing a goal. I thought Penn State got a couple good looks on Cage, but they were from the outside where McNaney could see him and none were on target.
Maryland's taken some heavy body blows, but they are still very much in this. McNaney finds his man. A wrap shot at the buzzer from Urksa just missed. It's 8-4 Penn State at the break.
If this would have gone, it would have counted. And I think this is kind of indicative of Penn State the last 5-6 minutes of this quarter. They've just kind of taken their eye off of the prize. Lackadaisical defense by Alex Ross.
Penn State hosting Maryland. It's an 8-4 advantage for the Nittany Lions after 30 minutes. Terps head coach John Tillman joins us. And John, what would you like to see the change most from your gang in the remaining 2 quarters?
I think a number of things. Obviously, you know, just got to do a better job on the ground. I'd like to see us play with a little more poise offensively. I think we're taking the first one, maybe not always taking the best one. And then defensively, just got to be on the same page a little better. We had some communication breakdowns. They certainly took advantage of it, and they're certainly capable of doing that.
Coach, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
John Tillman's squad, in its 5 wins this year, Mark, the Terps have won the ground ball battle in all 5 of those games. So when coach says we've got to be better off the ground, he knows where his bread is buttered.
No doubt. And it starts at the faceoff dot with Luke Weirman. He's getting better wing support here tonight, but credit Chase Mullins, who's won clean ones like that. He's doing a little clamp and a back exit, it looks like. And you just don't see Luke Weirman. You have to wonder, he's an older player now. And while he's still a young man, those hundreds and hundreds of face-offs, he's been an Iron Man for the Maryland Terrapins, a major reason why they came up one place short in the 2021 National Championship, won a 2022 National Championship.
So many reps, though, you're right.
A lot of them.
When he's on, though, he's as good as it gets.
Absolutely.
Tonight, Mullins has done well. Malone, equally so at what he does best, with a first-half hat trick running against Zapatello. Peden finds Morin. Morin on the sweep against Red. Just getting going in the second half. Penn State trying to beat Maryland for the first time ever at home. Peden on the go. Top side. Bumped there quickly by Canfield. Shot clock's down to 12. Deliberate attack here from Penn State. Ball down. Shot clock at 7. Matt Traynor a long ways from the cage. Working in. Jump shot there. That's wide of McNaney. Just 1 second on the shot clock. As Peden fires the ball out of bounds. Maryland gets a good stop and now gets to turn its attention on carving into that 4-goal deficit.
Maryland has played much better in their one-on-one matchups, and they're also supporting a little bit more than they were in the first quarter of this game. Credit defensive coordinator Jesse Bernhardt with some changes.
McNaney on the clear. Hoist this one ahead, right on target. Maryland will settle in 6-on-6. Maltz looking for Spanos jogging in off the sideline. Picked up on the perimeter by Kyle Aldridge.
You just feel like the first goal of this quarter is gigantic. Will it allow Maryland to hang around and stay in the game, or can Penn State get this crowd back behind them?
Chorus and back behind the cage from Molliver. Spanos against Aldridge once more. Spanos feed it inside. There's the cut and put away. Chorus on the board with his second.
The vision of Spanos, who played attack in high school, he's a terrific feeding midfielder. Jack Chorus, watch the cut. He recognizes the ball watching. He's actually open there for about 2 or 3 beats, and then he just slips behind the aggressive slide. Nobody backfills, and Chorus with a quick redirect finishes on the inside.
Chorus known to have success against Penn State. Had a hat trick against them last year, and Weirman comes out of there with a draw. Maryland trailing by 3 and has possession.
This is a big defensive stand for Penn State. They don't want Maryland to continue to gain confidence.
Weirman already with an assist tonight. Lays it out there for Molliver. Daniel Maltz, goals in all 8 games prior to tonight. Looking to go off the split dodge. Here comes the early help. Terps keep it hot. Syracuse fires. He scores! Closest Maryland has been since it was 4-2.
Maryland, in the end of the day, does not beat themselves. Penn State, on this defensive sequence, creates offense for Maryland. There's no reason to slide on Maltz. I understand Chase Mullins, the face-off man, is the defender, but Maltz is not an incredibly gifted dodger, even against a Fogo. And that gets the rotation for Penn State off kilter. Syracuse on the backside catches it, flings it. Maryland's within 2.
Chorus and Syracuse back-to-back. An important face-off possession, and it comes up for Maryland. Weirman gets the job done there. Now Canfield and the Terps look to clear. Canfield spots his man. It's the long stick midfielder, the wing player, McDonald. Spanos comes in, and the Terps look to make it a one-goal game.
When Weirman has won the face-off, Maryland has done a great job in the substitution game of keeping Chase Mullins, the Fogo, in on defense for Penn State. And it's completely changed the way the Nittany Lions have to slide and their integrity.
Made them uncomfortable. Spanos bluffs it with that sky whammy. From the top, driving out there wide, it's Urksa. Quick pass to the interior, snapped wide as Chorus again, flash cut to the crease.
That first quarter is maybe as poorly as we've seen Maryland play in a really long time. But this proud program, this proud team, they've stuck around, they've hung around. McNaney kept them in the game in the second quarter. Now the offense has come to life.
Spanos inverted, the midfielder below the goal line. Getting topside on Hawes, the short stick defensive midfielder. Penn State's best in that regard. With a defender hung up. Jump shot there, shut down by Frassian on the short side. Frassian's save total unofficially at 11 as Scarfy will clear.
Yeah, I like how he made himself bigger. It's a skinny guy, but made himself bigger on the pipe and soaks the body shot.
Hawes going to goal! He scores! Grant Hawes would not be denied.
Just what the doctor ordered here at Panzer Stadium. Frassian gets big in the cage for the Nittany Lions. Top side for Chorus, off his right thigh. Just makes himself bigger. And then the juice provided by number 16 in white. Grant Hawes steps up and puts a bullet into the upper 90 against Maryland. That will get the crowd back in this game.
Goals in back-to-back games for Hawes, who tallied last week in the win over Ohio State. He's got points in 3 straight. Maryland gets the possession. Stamos will kick it for Kelly, and then back behind the cage. Urksa and Ross have been me and my shadow throughout the game tonight. An Easter Sunday night affair. Joe Beninati, Mark Dixon, a shout out of thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew, both here and in Chicago. Enjoying another battle between Maryland and Penn State. Nittany Lions on top by 3.
Because of Weirman heating up at the face-off, Dot, this is the 4th settled possession of the quarter.
Molliver lost the handle out of his cross. It's a painful turnover.
I think Sweeney may have gotten a little slap check in there. But in any event, the turnover for Maryland, they've taken good care of the ball in the second quarter and so far here in the third up until then. But this is really the only second settled possession for Penn State.
At the half, we only had them for 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's much, much improved in the way they had performed most recently. Michigan, Virginia, Notre Dame coming to mind.
Yeah, Virginia 18, I think
that was
a season high, yeah.
Will Pedon's back behind the goal. On the sprint, Pedon snapped that one wide. McNaney racing with Wallstrom closest to the ball, wearing when it leaves the field on a missed shot. It's possession for Penn State. Right back to work. Turning the corner, Wallstrom for Pedon. Keep it hot. Mercer. This is Lehman on the run, sifting between Maryland defenders. Shot clock's at 20. Malone will orchestrate. Lehman fires, that's easy pickings. McNaney was right there.
Poor shot location for Lehman. Easy save for Logan McNaney, who again played extremely well. 4 saves in that second quarter. 2 or 3 of those could have been Penn State goals, and the Nittany Lions could have ran away and hid with this thing.
Urksa has it in his cross. As we near the midway mark of the third quarter, Braden Urksa gets underneath, was bumped there in a collision with O'Connor, lost the ball. Nittany Lions have it back. And it's Aldridge to step back into the offensive half.
Yeah, Maryland's had success off ball. The one-on-one not really there. Urksa, nice initial move, but he didn't have an exit strategy. So when he got caught underneath, he was easy pickings for the defense of Penn State. Nice check delivered by O'Connor.
Penn State number 4 in the land. Maryland ranked 12th. A Maryland team with an incredibly difficult strength of schedule. They are battle tested. Feed to the inside, that's ball down, and it comes up for the Terps. On the move. Zappatello running. Kick it out wide, Molliver. Trail guy fires, he scores! Red.
Outstanding transition lacrosse for the University of Maryland. These Turtles can run. Starts on the defensive end as Penn State just getting a little sloppy, a little hasty. It's not there. Poor decision from Ethan Long to try to jam it to a covered man. Zappatello with the slow break. This is the akin to basketball. The initial pass is given up, and then you hit the trail, who just steps into it and whistles it past Frassian, who guessed, and it glances off of number 50 in White's chest, nestles into the net. Maryland continues to chip away at this Penn State.
Nick Red's been receiving a lot of compliments from the coaching staff. Red, the 2-time academic All-Big Ten performer, scored his first career goal against Johns Hopkins last season. This is a guy who was trained in club ball by former Terp Isaiah Davis Allen. Guys like Pat Young have been influential to Nick in the past. 9-7 now, and Maryland in the black jerseys with the ball.
How many times have the Penn State lacrosse faithful seen this script before? The days of Gerard Arceri at the face-off dot, O'Keefe, Ament, Sabia, Sutton. Leads evaporate here against Maryland.
Syracuse rolling back to his strong side, trail check there. Nicely done by John King, but Maryland maintains possession. 30 seconds to shoot for Maltz, who has been relatively quiet, especially by his standards, as he's running with McVicker now back behind the cage.
He had some spectacular goals a week ago against Michigan.
Snapped that one wide of Frassian, 21 seconds on the shot clock. Urksa hiding away from Ross. Frassian trying to flush him out. Urksa on the go. Bouncer right through the crease, went way wide. Spanos will keep it alive. Shot clock violation against Maryland.
Frassian very impatient. He does not like it when his defenders get hung up. He comes out, forces the issue. I thought Urksa had a step on Ross, but Frassian did well going from pipe to pipe, and he stepped out 2 or 3 feet to cut off the angle of Urksa.
Will Peden will work. Matt Trainer waiting for help coming in off the sideline, namely Luke Mercer, who has it straight away. Kyle Lehman playing his 5th game of the season. Malone around the Lehman screen. Swim move from Peden. Schaller stays right with him. Trainer on the go. Barreling in. Turns and fires. There's a whistle beforehand. Possession going to Maryland.
Yeah, Wallstrom looked like he was going to fall in the crease, and his momentum carried him into the Maryland defender. Easy illegal screen call.
Still 4 minutes and 50 seconds with which to work in the third. What was an 8-4 game in favor of Penn State at the half. Second midfield out there, Jack Brennan, 41 in the black. On the handoff for Urksa, he's hatcheted back behind the cage. Speed move. Murphy, redodge. Nothing given to him by Hawes. Another illegal screen. This goes back to Penn State.
Tough break from Maryland. Well played by Penn State. It looked like the defender for Penn State almost pushed the picker for Maryland to create the illegal screen or the illusion of an illegal screen, but either way, 2 moving picks on each side. Penn State now with a chance to go up again by 3.
And bring their total to double figures. This is the highest scoring team in the Big Ten. They average better than 14 per game. Matt Costin for Matt Traynor. Placed it out wide to Morin. Working in against Alviti. Peden moving well. Jeff Tambroni was wondering whether or not Peden would be able to go in this one this Easter Sunday night. Matt Costin, sharp angle, right to the goal. He scores! There's a flag down. The officials are going to confer and count it.
There is no video review in the regular season for 2024 Big Ten Men's Lacrosse. We're going to have to take a look at this one. The flag down signifies that the Penn State player, Costin, was put in the crease illegally. The question Maryland's going to have is, does he shoot it before he goes in the crease? And it looks like he does. Take a look at this angle. His feet are outside the crease. He was pushed. He's in the crease before the ball goes in the net. That should be no goal.
Dixie, let's have a peek at what happened while we were going to break.
Colin Sharkey provides the defense, so the flag comes out because of a push, but there you're going to see Costin right there. He's in the crease. And when the other angle that we looked at, it didn't look like the entire ball was over the goal line. So watch. Costin right now is in the crease, and that ball clearly is not past the goal line. Again, Big Ten Men's Lacrosse in regular season, no video review available for the officials. If they had an opportunity to look at that thing again, they would take that goal off the board, and it would be a 30-second man-up opportunity for Penn State.
Luke Weirman attempting to win the draw with Mullins here as we grow late in the third quarter. It's a scoop for Sweeney. Penn State has the ball. Frassian looking to clear. Matt Costin, the third leading goal scorer for the Nittany Lions this season, has 3 hat tricks. He's got a couple of goals tonight in what is now a 10-7 lead.
That is a big, big goal for Penn State. Not only does it get them up by 3 goals, but they win the ensuing face-off. And now they've regained control of this game, and they've quelled this Maryland run.
TJ Malone with points in 42 straight games. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year a season ago. John Tillman, the Maryland coach, said he's been here forever, and he meant that in a good way because he's made a significant impact. Malone sweeping, carving in a submarine shot that was blocked. It hit the cross traffic in front of McNaney, and back comes Maryland on the run. Ball down, giving the long stick player Schaller fits there, feed it inside. This one's just missed. Canfield didn't convert. This bounces back, and it will stay Maryland ball.
This Maryland team plays fun. Bolivar didn't even think twice about throwing it inside to Canfield, who turned and shot. Looked like it nicked off of the goalpost. But this is a Maryland team that's playing loose now. They're more comfortable. They look so tight early in the game, but they've definitely gotten into a groove.
Maryland outscoring Penn State in this third quarter. Syracuse against O'Connor. Play it here for Whittier. Sets a screen. Syracuse, a little cat and mouse game. They'll play it back behind for Molliver. He'll orchestrate against Scarfy. Spanos from the top. Working in against Sickler to the alley. Ooh, trying to bull his way there in right into a double team. Strong work by Will Costin to take it back for Penn State.
Spanos shaken up as well. He was slow to get to his feet. Reminiscent of Urksa getting inside of this Penn State defense with no exit strategy. He paid the price. Good team defense by the Nittany Lions.
Final 70 seconds of this third quarter. Another good one between Maryland and Penn State. Nittany Lions trying to beat the Terps for the first time ever on home turf. 5 years to the day when they beat Maryland for the first time in College Park.
And after that game, you could sense the relief and the jubilation of Penn State finally taking down Maryland, a team that has just had their number and then has had their number since.
Maryland has won the last 4 meetings straight up. Malone, roll dodge, fires, wide of McNaney, backed up by Peden, 17 seconds to shoot, 26 in the quarter. Get it into the cross of Matt Traynor. Traynor works, gets top side. Good lift check there, strong work on the defensive end by Canfield. Traynor redodging in, pulls the trigger there, McNaney makes the stop. Just as the shot clock was expiring, final ticks of this third quarter. Maryland will find itself down by 3, Penn State in control after 3 quarters.
Good quarter for Maryland, but at the end they look up and they only are in a +1.
15 minutes to go, action-packed on Big Ten Network.
The wings on face-offs, there you see him. He's not just an offensive midi, he's a ground ball machine. And there he shows his scoring
And he
prowess
comes up with another one to help Maryland get the draw and a chance to squeak closer. Weirman looks for it, give and go, fire, score! Chorus can't miss.
The Maryland mosh pit. Penn State's running off the field. They're not staying on 22. Jack Chorus. Chorus picks the ball up and is going to give it to Weirman. Look at number 18 in white. He peels off. That leaves Jack Chorus wide open, catches the feed from Weirman and sticks it. It's basically 6-on-5 lacrosse.
Chorus has his 4th. Luke Weirman getting the better of Colby Baldwin to the benefit of Chorus to make it a 1-goal game. It's 10-9 Penn State. Dixie, Jeff Tambroni said we need possessions against Maryland. He said we have to stay away from the avalanche of losing possessions to Luke Weirman. That avalanche is starting to slide.
And it comes after a controversial goal for Penn State. So the emotions of Maryland, they've been able to manage that. And then Luke Weirman, 6 of 8 so far here in the second half.
He gets another one going to the goal. Bouncer wide of Frassian. Coach Tambroni said of his outstanding netminder, he has the ability to hit the reset button when things are going good, bad, better, worse, it doesn't matter. He resets and refocuses, and right now, he and his mates are in a 1-goal game. Maryland in the black jerseys with possession. Urksa working in against Alex Ross. Urksa sprints back behind the goal. Has his defender hung up. Sneaks out. Ross recovers well. Plenty of time, 50 seconds remaining on the shot clock for Maryland.
Luke Weirman now 7 of 9 for faceoffs in the second half.
Syracuse rolling in. Syracuse helped to spark Maryland in the second quarter. Early stages of the fourth now with Molliver and Urksa going for the tie. Feed it inside. It gets away from Kelly. Shot clock's at 24.
Not a fan of Maryland trying to jam it into the crease. They haven't had success since the first quarter with that.
There it is again. It rattles around and it comes up for Penn State.
No reason to force that if you're Maryland. Continue to work the perimeter. Your shooting's doing well. Your one-on-one dodges are doing well. You're getting good backside cuts. Force feeding the crease, a recipe for disaster.
Jack Chorus has erupted for Maryland. 4 goals tonight to bring the Terps back within 1. Now they dig in defensively against the best offense in the Big Ten.
Can Penn State answer the bell? They smacked Maryland around in the first quarter. The Terrapins have responded time and time again. Now it's time for Penn State to show why they are considered to be the class of the Big Ten.
Malone, quiet since the early first quarter hat trick. Zappatello shading him. Stick check by Zappatello. Ball down, caused turnover for the All-American Terp.
Great defense by Zappatello. He just sat down, disregarded the pick, threw a timely check, dislodged the ball, and picks it up himself.
McNaney, the keeper for Maryland, looking to clear now. Help comes from Zappatello. He snaps a pass that's low. It bounces towards the end line. The officials keep the ball for Maryland.
Looks like it deflected off of a Penn State player. That is a fortunate bounce for Zappatello, who's been a little erratic in the clearing game tonight for Maryland.
3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Spanos here, working now up top. Murphy has the good speed against King. Murphy, an excellent outside shooter as well. Beautiful ball movement here. Fressian stonewalls Urksa.
Highway robbery at Panzer Stadium.
From the beginning, Fressian has been marvelous. Molliver and the Terps with Spanos now trying to avoid that frustration, keep chipping away. Front swing Whittier, snapshot there, score! Maltz.
If you don't succeed at first, try and try again. Jeff Tambroni is not like what he's seeing. This save is a gorgeous one. And I like how Maryland is sucking the Penn State defenders out to the perimeter, and they do it again here. They move Maltz higher in the slot. That's great offense. Michael Phipps saying, get up about 6-7 yards higher. That's an open area. Great catch and shoot from number 37 in black.
Whittier gets the helper. Maltz has points in 11 straight, goals in all 9 this season. Ball down, Mullins trying to win the draw for Penn State. Comes up, Maltz again! He scores! Unsettled into the cross of 37. Who knows how to finish? Maryland has the lead.
Penn State, after the timeout, they continue to fall apart. This is just missed ground ball opportunities. Weirman wins the initial draw. Mullins bats it, and no one can pick up the ground ball, nor did no one lay a body. Maltz just happens to be on the tail end of that, catches it, shoots it. Maryland stunningly up by a goal.
And then Mullins moves early. It's Maryland ball. Weirman brings it along. Terps settling in. Maltz again, point blank, didn't go. Urksa gets the rebound to maintain possession for Maryland. 4 minutes into a fourth quarter, 4 unanswered goals for Maryland, erasing a 10-7 deficit after 3.
And Fressian has bailed out Penn State in this second half at least 4 or 5 times. The defense looks tired. They've got to dig down deep, get a stop to stop this Maryland run.
Urksa jams on the brakes. He scores! Braden Urksa and Maryland with all the momentum.
This run is not only propelling Maryland to a potential win, but this could be season-saving for the Terps. Urksa just drifts up high on Hawes, puts his foot in the dirt, and just comes back the other way. There's no support. They don't expect number 16, Grant Hawes, their number 1 short 16 midi, who slips on the back of the net. Urksa then slips it by Fressian, and it is all Maryland right now.
Multi-goal games for Urksa in 6 of 9 this season. Maryland entering play today at 5-3, losers of 2 straight. The last time the Terps were 5-4, you got to go back to 2005. All of a sudden, they have control of this game with 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the fourth.
Penn State has already burned 1 timeout to try to stop the bleeding, so they only have 1 more left to try to manage this next 10+ minutes.
Great Sunday night of lacrosse. Easter Sunday with you. State College, PA. Timeout on the field, and the Terps bench is roaring. Win streak Maryland coming in, having dropped its last 2. There you see the longest active win streaks in the nation, including these Nittany Lions. Maryland with the black jerseys on tonight. They have the ball.
Penn State has gone zone after this timeout.
Trying to mix up the Maryland offense, which was clicking with great regularity. Syracuse playing catch with Murphy. 20 seconds to shoot. It's Urksa on the go. An outside drive that's stabbed by Frassian. Long range, no trouble there. Ross and the Nittany Lions look to clear.
Plenty of time if you're Penn State. This is where you can show what you're made of. You're at home, you got the crowd behind you. Penn State just needs to get to work the way Maryland got to work earlier in this game.
Maryland outscoring the Nittany Lions 8-2 in the second half, taking the 12-10 advantage. Plenty of time here at Panzer Stadium on a whiteout night for the host to rally. Mac Costin ready to go. Costin to the interior, to the cage, and he snapped it high over the crossbar, backed up by Peden.
Again, good slide, good support from Maryland, just to make Costin uncomfortable with that shot.
Right back to work on the sweep, play it into the cross of Costin. Mac Costin trying to get to the alley. Kohler working with him. Morin getting topside. Exchanging the ball there with Mac Costin. Tough overplay there defensively. Stamos, and it comes up off the ground for Maryland. Zapatello everywhere at that end of the field. Stamos, who had the huge overtime goal at Syracuse. Maryland has 5 victories. 3 of them are beyond regulation this season.
Yeah, that's a never say die attitude, a never quit attitude from Maryland. And Penn State, again, those self-inflicted wounds, just a lazy pass that gets turned over.
Do you stay rapid fire here if you're Maryland, or do you start to go deeper and deeper into the shot clocks?
I mean, I think you do what you've done so far in the second half, and that's pick your spots, be smart with the ball, don't jam the middle. Maryland stays away from that. They've had success.
Spanos back behind the cage. Get it out to the flank. Syracuse off the swim. Had that one hit off the defender, O'Connor. The ball ricochets high in the air, out of bounds. The officials will keep it. Maryland possession.
Great hustle, great recognition by Spanos. That's a hard ball to track, almost like a pop fly in baseball. So to not lose it and not run out of bounds before the ball goes out of bounds.
17 seconds to shoot. From the top, it's Urksa. Wing drive there. That's erased by Frassian. Another save for the All-American netminder. The ball again bounding out of bounds and soaring through the air. Spanos wins it for Maryland.
He's so good at run. I mean, it might sound like a inane quality, but those 2 runouts by Eric Spanos, 2 of the most intelligent plays we've seen here tonight.
Fantastic hustle. Spanos telling the guys, hey, settle down. We got a reset of the shot clock to 60. Let's go through the paces. 12-10 Maryland. 5 unanswered in the 4th. Spanos peeking over top. Murphy content to circle it up for Urksa. From the wing, Syracuse against Sickler. Drive. That Sizzler missed on the short side. Spanos will bring it in off the end line.
Maryland in the midfield, a little bit of a shorter bench tonight. Really haven't seen Jack Brennan. We've only seen Zach Whittier for 1 run. It has really been only 4 or 5 middies out there tonight for the Terps.
Syracuse getting into the alley. He's had the ball a lot. Spanos up top, Murphy. Murphy fidgets away from Scarfy. 6-on-6 at this end of the field. Very, very few extra man opportunities tonight. Only 1 by my count. Cleanly played game. Feed it. Turn. Fire. Score! Kelly!
This was basically a perfect possession for the Maryland Terrapins. They got 2 shot clock resets So you bleed regulation, and it ends with Daniel Kelly. He takes the feed from Syracuse, and I don't think he realized how open he was. Again, that higher crease we saw Maltz a few minutes ago. Kelly turns, recognizes he's got a shooting lane, pumps it, defender ducks, and that also throws up the timing of Frassian. Beautiful shot by Daniel Kelly.
Just in the nick of time for John Tillman. At the faceoff dot, Mullins comes out of there with a win. Much needed for Penn State, but then he airmails a pass for Malone, gives it right back to Maryland.
These are the ghosts of Panzer for Penn State lacrosse. How many times have we been here on Sunday night, Joe, where Penn State has had this thing in hand early, middle of the game, but in the end, it always ends in heartbreak, and they've got to flip the script in a big way, in a hurry, if they want to knock off Maryland in this one.
Still 5:50 left in the fourth. Maryland's largest lead now at 13-10. 6 unanswered goals to start the scoring in the fourth. If you're tuning in a little late with us this Easter Sunday on Big Ten Network.
Same offensive personnel in the game for Maryland, with the exception of Mulliver now behind the goal in place of Eric Spanos.
Spanos is lurking on the interior now. Syracuse fidgets through a couple defenders, lost his cross. Ball is down, and Penn State comes away. Ross on the ground ball. There's a flag. Soon to go extra man are the Nittany Lions as Will Costin will run. This is a Penn State squad that has not had a shot on goal at all in the fourth. They barely had the ball.
Yeah, it's been a game tilted in the favor in the second half for Maryland due to the efficiency of the offense as well as the handiwork of Luke Wehrman at the faceoff dot.
Now Malone, last season's Offensive Player of the Year. Can he get going on Zappatello? Malone had a hat trick in the first half. He's been quiet. Here he comes. TJ forced to the outside. Spin the rock back behind the cage. Wallstrom fires. Score! Luke Wallstrom.
A gigantic goal for Penn State. We'll take a look at the penalty. If this is a 1-minute foul, it will be a man-up face-off for the Nittany Lions. So it is a slash. So Penn State will enjoy a man-up face-off opportunity. Malone was looking for Wallstrom a couple seconds before this across the cage, but it was covered up. And Wallstrom just tiptoes around X, gets top side, and sticks it. Here is the foul. Spanos whacking Alex Ross on the arm. Oftentimes that one doesn't get called. That's a tough call if you're a Maryland fan. Nonetheless, man-up opportunity here for Penn State on the faceoff.
Wehrman pops it cleanly on the draw, going to the goal, fakes, feed, fire, Frassian with another stop at just the right moment. He robbed Mulliver, and back comes Penn State. Hawes will clear it. Malone will settle. Maryland, a man down. The goal from Wallstrom, his second on the night. He had a 2-goal game earlier this season against Cornell.
I love that shot from Maryland. Take that shot 7 days a week and then again on Sunday.
16 saves for Frassian now as Malone operates from the top. Malone waits, feeds it inside. It goes all the way through. Just snapped wide of the cage, and it'll be backed up by the Terps. Always dangerous, Jeb Brent Fleck on the extra man unit for Penn State. Coach Tambroni sneaks him in. He's dangerous there on EMO as McNaney launches this one and makes the connection down the field to Urksa. We have 3.5 left in regulation. It's a 2-goal game, favoring the guys in the black jerseys.
What a slick pass from Malone. Brent Fleck, the EMO specialist, just misses it. And because it was a little early, the rotations hadn't happened, so there was no backup for Penn State. McNaney wins the race to the end line, and then Urksa with another long-distance clearing pass received from his netminder.
Penn State didn't get a shot during the extra man. Now they dig into the defensive end with 3 minutes to go. Urksa and the Terps in no hurry just yet. Spanos hanging out on the wing. Urksa sightseeing from the top, looking for a passing lane. Syracuse on the go against Aldridge. This way for Urksa. Shot clock's at 18. Spanos and Urksa, two guys who've said follow me here in the fourth. Work it for Chorus. He's got 4 goals. Off the face dodge, fire! Frassian from the angle made that save, and he comes up with the scoop.
Another big save from Frassian. Chorus taking the inside as Daniel Maltz was out on those last 2 offensive possessions for the Terps.
Frassian had 17 earlier in the season against Yale. He has 17 unofficially tonight.
He's been spectacular.
Here we go, Mark. 2 minutes to go. Lacrosse on Big Ten Network. So glad you've tuned in with us. We're celebrating 10 years of lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Joe and Mark with you in the booth. Penn State has the ball in white, trying to make this a 1-goal game. Costin fumbled there as he went to pull the trigger. Ball down. Matt Costin, body flying. It comes up for Maryland on the run. Zappatello with a ground ball, and now Maryland will savor this possession. At the midline, Chorus running for cover. Plays it out wide for Molliver. Time ticking, 85 seconds left. Penn State needs a turnover here. They need a strong defensive stand. Shot clock is at 50. Murphy will run with it and run it all day if he could. Kelly with Frassian now, the netminder, leaving the cage, trying to help defensively and get the ball back for the Nittany Lions here at home. Winners of 7 straight. Maryland has won the last 4 meetings between these 2 squads. 5-3 Terps, 7-1 Nittany Lions, and time continues to tick.
Yeah, the defense for Penn State, they're gassed. Time is on the side of Maryland right now. Credit Colin Burles with a gigantic takeaway.
Penn State has the ball. Hawes racing towards the cage. Hawes feeds it cross. Stepping in, Trainer. He lost it off of his stick. Time ticking down, 20 seconds left. 2-goal deficit for Penn State. Malone with a flag down and a whistle to come.
Unnecessary, 1 minute.
It's an unnecessary roughness call against Maryland, and it's on Syracuse. That'll be his 2nd of the evening. Actually, excuse me, that is not on Syracuse. That looks like it might be on Colin Burles, number 40, who just came up with that great takeaway of Costin a minute ago. Penn State now with the man up.
And needing a miraculous finish. 13-11 Maryland, a brilliant 4th quarter for the Terps. They scored the first 6 goals of the frame. Wallstrom brought Penn State back to within 2. Nittany Lions on extra man with 16 left.
Burles tried to stay in the game. That is a smart defenseman. He tried to stay in the game.
Timeout called. Maryland takes it.
And John Tillman patting him, saying, hey, you know, so that could be an injury type situation that we'll have to keep our eye on in the future.
Maltz, who had 2 in the 4th. Time's a-wasted. Brent Fleck. Lehman. Snapshot, Trainer, stopped by McNaney. Maryland gonna get out of Panzer Stadium with a fantastic 4th quarter rally to win it 13-11.
This is big. This is gigantic for the Maryland Terrapins. Not only do they win this game, they score a quality victory that's going to help all their metrics.
Second half, it was keyed quite a bit by faceoff man Luke Weirman. Luke, in your estimation, what turned this game around in the second half and specifically in the fourth quarter?
We just kind of got there in a halftime, and we kind of just, kept reiterating that, like, we got to stick to the game plan, stick together, and that, that's kind of what we focus on. We just been focusing on ourselves a lot lately, and we just stuck true to that.
Luke, you were dynamite in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter. In a season where you had to miss a game against Brown, and then last week against Michigan, things really didn't go your way. What did you tell yourself as Luke Weirman as you approached, especially the fourth quarter, of how you were going to get things done for Maryland?
You just got to put your head down and keep grinding. Everybody trusts each other out there. The wings guys trust each other, defense, offense. So just sticking with each other and, just sticking to it. Don't let it get in your head and just move on to the next.
You were down 6-2. You were down 8-4. You were staring your third consecutive loss in the face, and you guys pull this out. What does this win mean for this Maryland team?
It means a lot. We kind of found ourselves. It was good to, just how we learned to stick together, stick as a group. Playing in games like this, this is why you come to Maryland, is play games like this, difficult games, hard league games. And, it's really important just playing games like this. So, it goes a long way, and, we're just looking forward to the next.
Big-time character win, Luke. Thanks very much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, guys.
Luke Weirman, victorious Maryland, 13-11 in a fantastic Easter Sunday night game at Panzer Stadium. For Mark Dixon, for all the men and women in our crew, Maryland running over the Nittany Lions in the fourth. 13-11 the final. This has been a presentation of the Big Ten Network.